Would you like to start today, Sunilee ji, or shall I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
Youngers first.
I always think elder first.
For me, I always give the opportunities to youngers.
Yeah, and also in oftentimes in religion, they give to the youngest child the opportunity.
Right.
Youngest sibling. Okay, so I will start. Namaste and welcome everyone. It's such a blessing to have you here. We are going to discuss Sun Rahu conjunction as well as the current Sun Rahu transit with my blessed and dear friend and teacher, Sunilee Jani Pawar. Namaste, Sunilee ji. How are you doing?
Namaste, Kṣaṇāti. I'm very good, and namaste to all the viewers. And I wish that today's session will be wonderful because we are going to talk about the solar energy, as well as we are going to talk about the black energy affecting the solar energy. So energies matters a lot, so we have to be more energetic to discuss the Sun and Rahu.
Yes.
So almost now Mars is going to go into the Cancer sign. So now this two planets, one shadow and one soul planet, is going to remain alone in the sign of Gemini. Sun and Rahu conjunction, everybody is very afraid of that because Rahu eclipses the Surya. Actually whenever any planet comes near to Sun, because of the brightness, because of the strong rays of the Sun, the planets get so much affected that they becomes ast. They become combust because they are not able to give their fruits, or we can say they are not able to act in a proper manner because they are getting combust because of the strong rays of the Surya. So we can say around 5-6 degree near to Sun, any planet becomes ast. But only Rahu is the shadow planet which makes the Surya ast in front of him. See, it is vice versa. Because Rahu has so much capacity, because last time also when we were discussing about the other planets with Rahu, we already talked about the transit. That time also we said that Rahu is a black energy. Rahu is a black only. It is so dark that Sun is not able to go through the light of Rahu. And that is why the Grahan Yoga is created. Grahan. We say that when Sun and Rahu come together, there is a Grahan Yoga. Or we can say when Sun and Moon are also together, that time the dark day happens. No moon day. Right? So, the Surya and Rahu are now in Gemini sign, Mithuna Rashi. So as per nature's chart again, because when we study as per the Kalpurusha Kundali, as per the nature's chart, it becomes more easy to understand for all of us because it is a universal chart, which is starting from the Aries. So definitely now Sun and Rahu, when are coming in the third house of each and everyone's chart, being the Lord of fifth house as per the natural zodiac, Sun is in the third house. And now Rahu is also there, which has already entered there. Now they both together will try to prove themselves. No doubt this combination has many good effects also, Kṣaṇāti. It is always not so that it is a bad. This totally depends on the clarity of your Rahu. Because it is not so that Rahu will always give the bad fruits. Rahu is not good now, Rahu transit has started, what will happen? I have seen so many charts where Sun and Rahu together are giving fantastic fruit. Because this UT or this combination is the best combination for healing, for occult. In doctor's chart also you can see the people who are practicing Ayurveda, specifically the other streams than proper MBBS or something, who has done the Ayurveda or other healing professions, they have very strong Sun and Rahu in their chart. So now, as now the Sun and Rahu have come together, it is said that all our pending karmas are getting carried forward. Because the other way of seeing the Surya, Surya is our father, Surya is our forefathers. But who is Rahu? Rahu is our ancestors. And when ancestors and our forefathers, that forefathers also keeps the account. Okay, now my forefathers are also coming into the action, coming into the picture. So now my duties and my responsibilities are more now. I have to work more. What way I have to work more? So I have to fulfill the pending desires via or through this native. So we all have to fulfill our pending desires during this period. That is what I understand. Because already the Jupiter is transiting 6th to this Surya and Rahu now. That is in Prarabdha house. Prarabdha which we cannot change. So Jupiter is always blessing us. So this is the time when one will realize that what are the things I have to fulfill in this birth. Till now, maybe they didn't realize, but immediately as soon as they will come in near conjunction, this Surya and Rahu, now they are quite apart from each other. But once they come together, definitely the person will realize the things which it will come automatically in their mind, that now I have to do this, I have to do this, or even they will face certain situation in society, in their personal life also, where they can name it as this is a karmic cycle. So this is the Sun and Rahu. So I believe in this way. What is your take on this Surya and Rahu?
Sunilee, thank you so much. I couldn't agree with everything you said more. And one of the ways that I describe this pending karma, which is coming with this conjunction, which you discussed, is the soul's bucket list, because it's this karma which we have unfinished. And sometimes that karma is unfinished from our past lifetimes. So that karma can be very deep. That karma can be very strong. And when the sun gets there, it will say, this is your soul's purpose to check off this bucket list. This is your opportunity to fulfill your karma. So it could be one of the greatest opportunities. And I really like how you discuss both the traditional malefic associations of this conjunction, but you also dive deep into the positive side. When I think about this conjunction, I understand that Rahu eats the sun and the moon. He's very hungry and is never satisfied with what he eats, and he splits the sun and the moon in half. We call this an eclipse. So we can think also of Rahu's sun conjunction as Rahu eclipsing the sun. So it is an eclipse which is manifesting. And we can also see this showing up with the major eclipse which is coming up during this in July. And as we look into this Rahu and Sun conjunction, just to go over a little bit of the specifics of it, Rahu, the Sun left Taurus and entered Gemini on the June 15. And this is when it started to get closer to Rahu. But Rahu was in his 24th degree at this point. So even though the Sun entered the Gemini sign, they are in different nakshatra. They're over 24 degrees apart. So we're just starting to feel the culmination of this possibility. Now, it will get closer and closer as the Sun travels through Gemini and enters the same nakshatra as Rahu at the end of June and the beginning of July. And they will be at the exact same degree on July 10. They will be in what you might call planetary war on the July 10. So they will be very close to each other. July 8, July 9, July 10, July 10, July 11, July 12. This will be the strongest period of the Sun and Rahu conjunction. So just to consider that. And then the Sun will actually leave Gemini. And you would think that Rahu is going to be alone, but no, Sunilee and I are going to do another video on Rahu-Venus conjunction at that point, because Rahu will be transiting with Venus. But the Sun will leave Gemini on 16th of July. So again, even though we hear this peak on July 9, 10, 11, by July 17, the Sun will be in Cancer. So this is something very important to consider as we work through this transit. Now, first, let's talk about the difficult associations associated with the Sun and Rahu. Well, the Sun, when it's in a very good position and in a very evolved position, gives someone a healthy ego. It gives someone a healthy sense of identity. It gives someone a deep connection to who they are. Rahu actually can show us spiritually who we are, and also can help us reveal our identity. But both the Sun and Rahu, when they are not in acting in a positive way, they inflate the ego. They increase the ego. And because Rahu is the Maya, the falseness, the illusion, when it is not manifesting positively, this means the person has false pride. So all of us need to be careful during this transit of egoism, of arrogance, of a superiority complex. And as you can see, working out in the political world, there's lots of issues with people who have superiority complex. They have superiority complex because of race, because of religion, whatever the reason is. And this is all the illusion, because God created us all with the same divine intention. One of my greatest quotes from one of my teachers, Haile Selassie, he used to say that until the color of a man's eyes is of no more importance than the color of a man's skin, we will know no peace on earth. And this is very, very true. But with the Sun and Rahu, we want to believe we are better. We want to believe that we are on top, that we want to believe that we have the superiority. So this is something that people have to be careful of. And this is why Sun Rahu is a great combination for politicians. And because they need to want this power. They need to want this ego. They need to want this control. So as you know, our Donald Trump has Sun Rahu conjunction in 10th house of career. So this aspect of ego and desire for power and desire for control and desire for status and reputation without necessarily any positive energy associated with it, that's the dark side of this Sun-Rahu conjunction. Also, because Rahu helps us find our Dharma, but sometimes we have to go through adharmic experiences in order to get there. That means as the Sun-Rahu conjunction gets strong, you might be participating in certain activities that you think really are about who you are and what your purpose is and what your life is here. But by the end of the time that the Sun leaves Gemini, you will realize that was confusion. And see, it's very interesting where Gemini sits, because let's say Gemini sits in the 5th house or Gemini sits in the 7th house of the chart. Well, those would be affecting romance and relationship. That means that the person that you think is your honey might not really be your honey at all. And you have to be very careful about falling in love too quickly if this Sun-Rahu conjunction is affecting your 5th house or your 7th house. If there's a heavy aspect on it, or it is in Gemini, is in those houses. Other difficult things which I see with Rahu and Sun coming together is there can be a lot of fear. Fear can show up because the Sun is pushing us to our soul's direction. The Sun is pushing us to our soul's potential, but Rahu is creating uncertainty, especially in the sign of Gemini. One of the things that they say about the Gemini is it's the jack of many trades, master of none. And that means it has interest in many different things, and it can be very good at many things. And we can discuss, and I will discuss how that will be positive with the Rahu Sun conjunction. But on the negative side of the Rahu Sun conjunction, you might struggle with, there are so many different things that I could be doing, so many different directions that I can be going, that my soul is pulling me into, that I don't know which one to choose. I don't know which decision to make. Now, the sun is good there to help you choose something, but it doesn't always mean that the first choice is the right choice. And I've noticed this with Rahu as being a common concept. So even though this is kind of pushing everyone to kind of find their truest potential and find their truest sense of self, that it's not necessarily just one thing that we should be doing. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's a new hobby. Maybe it's a new relationship. But we have to increase this diversity in our life, I think, to help bring remedy to this Rahu Sun conjunction. Now, those are just some of the malefic aspects which might show up. And again, you can expect these to be strongest July 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, the dark side of this conjunction, the positive side of this conjunction, is that this will increase the power. This will increase the strength. And as we all know, Rahu is our mystical or occult potential if we choose to be a spiritual person. If we choose to be a material person, then Rahu can actually be our material potential. So when you have this Rahu and Sun conjunction coming in together, we have this great opportunity during this time that if we have spiritually focused life, to help grow closer to our spiritual potential. That means if you study astrology, you can take your astrology study to the next level. You can become a better astrologer. If you're an Ayurvedic practitioner, you can study Ayurveda during this time, become better Ayurvedic doctor. You could, if you study Vastu during this time, you will become better Vastu practitioner by the end of this transit. So it increases all this ability to appropriately kind of get us to our full potential in areas that are outside of the box because of Rahu. And naturally, because Gemini is the sign which is the intellect, as Sunilee so aptly put, our mind will naturally be thinking these things. Our thoughts will naturally be thinking these things. And that will be pushing us to study, to learn, to become stronger in whatever our mystical power is, to become stronger in whatever our occult power is. So as you can see on both sides of it, we have the potential to heal and learn more about healing and become deeper connected to God, or we can become more powerful within society, within the ego, within our desire to have control over others. So we really have to make sure that we try to stay sattvic during this time. Rahu can try to bring more tamasic effect onto the sun. So we have to remember that the sun has this spiritual sattvic quality. And we must focus on this spiritual sattvic vibration of the sun and not let so much of that tamasic vibration of Rahu influence us. So let us not go to the power, but let us go to the mystical exploration. I think that will be very positive. Another positive energy of this Rahu-Sun conjunction is the sun is the soul's direction. The sun is the soul's potential. And we all know that Ketu has an equal aspect on Rahu, and there's that strong Saturn-Ketu conjunction going on. So how that will be affecting the Rahu and the sun is that Saturn will be aspecting the sun. And we know that Saturn and sun have difficult relationship as well. And then Ketu will also be aspecting the sun. And that will not be beneficial to the sun as well. So because of these two planets kind of also bringing their aspect of influence onto the Rahu-Sun conjunction, there can be certain difficulties which the person has to go through during this Sun-Rahu conjunction, and they might get certain things during this Sun-Rahu conjunction that make them very, very, very happy for the time that they have them. That's the difficult part because of the Saturn-Ketu aspect. Because the Saturn-Ketu aspect is kind of saying when the sun leaves Gemini and Saturn-Ketu is aspecting the Rahu, then maybe those that power that you had, or that growth that you had, or that next layer of depth or evolution in your life that you have, well, it kind of hit a climax and now it's simmering or settling down a little bit, like a pot that is boiling on high, and then you have to bring it down to a simmer. And the Saturn pulling on the Rahu and the Ketu pulling on the Rahu after the sun leaves Gemini will bringing everything back down to a simmer. So that will be positive if you're egotistical, because that will certainly be a humbling position. So even though the Sun Rahu conjunction has the chance to increase the ego, as soon as the Sun leaves Rahu, Saturn and Ketu will crush the ego again. So that is why the most important thing is to focus on the mystical, is to focus on the occult, is to focus on the spiritual, is to focus on the bhakti, is to focus on your hobby, is to focus on your interest. Gemini is also a friend social sign. So this is a good sign for social interaction. This is a good time for you to interact with your friends. This is a good time for you to communicate and to express yourself. So it is a very difficult transit in terms of everyone during this transit is going, especially if they have strong Gemini position, is going to be pushed into their spiritual power. And when we are pushed into our spiritual power, we can either use that power for good, like astrology, Ayurveda, Vastu, any form of service which we offer to someone else. We can use that spiritual power for good. We can let the Jyotir Vidya move through us. We can let the Ayurveda move through us. Or we can use that spiritual power for control. Or we can use that spiritual power for hunger, or for power hunger. Or we can use that spiritual power so that we can achieve financial success, but at what cost? So that's just something to keep in mind, is during this period, yes, it is encouraging you to reach a deeper layer of your power, of your identity, of your potential, and your evolution. But let's leave the ahankar away. Let's not let the ahankar, the separative identity, get so much developed within this. A good example that I like to describe this is if you're an astrologer and you do a reading for someone and they say, "Thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you so much for your knowledge." Well, here's the interesting thing. It is not my knowledge and it is not my wisdom. First of all, the knowledge and wisdom, it comes from the Navagraha and the Devas themselves. And many, many, many thousands of years ago, through Brigu, they passed that knowledge onto the rishis. And so none of this knowledge is ours. None of this power is ours. None of this wisdom is ours. We are just channels for this greater Navagraha rishi type wisdom. So it's important as we grow in our wisdom that we do not take it as our own, that we do not identify with it, but we realize more so on the deeper level that we are a channel for something which is much greater than us, which is the Navagraha, which is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, which is the Paramatman, which is the universal soul and the God and everything that exists. So again, that's just a little bit of my insight into this Rahu, Sun, and Gemini conjunction. And it is a both powerfully positive and powerfully negative potential. The question is, how do we make it positive? We become generous during this transit. We become selfless during this transit. Everything which we are growing with, we try to give it away. So if we're growing in knowledge, if we're growing in wisdom, then we are immediately trying to share that knowledge and wisdom with others without any compensation, without anything in return. And that would be good with the Saturn and Ketu transit aspect. But on the other side of it, wanting power, wanting to be recognized, wanting other people to worship you, wanting other people to honor you, wanting you to have control over people, wanting you to have influence over people. And if you are becoming wiser, saying, "This is my wisdom, this is my knowledge," and not giving the proper devotion to where it ultimately comes from is what we really have to be wary of during this transit. So those just a little bit about the positive and negative aspects of this transit. And I hope our viewers and you, Sunilee ji, found that interesting.
Okay. So, yeah, it was quite interesting. So basically, the Surya and Rahu conjunction itself tells about the pending desires, because we always hear there is a free will like thing, you know. So this is the time when person can work on the free will, because why the free will be more, it will be more activated, because the Saturn is also aspecting the sun, the soul. No doubt Saturn and Sun are not compatible with each other, but they are father and son. So Sun is always blessed by the father. Same way, Rahu is the ancestor with the Surya. So who believe in the past birth, who believe in the past karmas, we all believe in that. That is why we are here to talk about it. So this is the time when everybody, as I said before, everybody will be remembering, or everybody must remember their forefathers or the desires which were kept behind. 100% during this 1 month till the Surya is there, till it goes to Cancer sign, definitely one has to fulfill all the things. It is not like after that they cannot do it, but this is the crucial and specific time when they must do it. Now how they can do it? So they must give the services to, like, public sector organizations, or like orphanages, or they can go and help the poor and needy. They can go in the animal shelter home, whatever way they can give the services, they must do it. But all these services must be done when they are fulfilled with the home responsibilities. People misunderstand this combination. They are not looking after the home and their responsibilities, and they go on doing the things for others. But unless and until you do for your own people, you cannot do it for others. So first and foremost duty is towards our family and towards the things which are balanced. That first you must try to fulfill. And then you have to do it for others. Then only this dedication will fruit into a good karmic cycle.
Yes.
And when Saturn Rahu is also opposite to each other, so this is the best time to worship the Shiva. This is the fantastic. Yes, Om Namah Shivaya. Because see, already since the Rahu has entered into the Gemini sign, the time started that time only to worship the Shiva. Okay, so this whole Rahu transit till the Saturn enters into the sign of Capricorn, this is the best time to worship Lord Shiva by chanting mantras, or by just whatever way you can, because Om is consisted of everything.
And if you're a Saturn Rahu ascendant like me, that's why you're a sadhu. and all you want to do is worship Shiva.
Because Saturn and Rahu, see, Shiva is the guru of Rahu. The Shivji is the guru of Rahu. Rahu is only afraid of Shiva.
Yeah,
That is why whenever Saturn Rahu combination, whenever Sun Rahu combination are there, we always ask people to worship Shiva. Otherwise also we have to worship, but specifically people having these combinations in their chart, to overcome the pending karmas, to overcome the present karmas, and to pacify the future bad karmas, one has to worship Shiva. How you worship, that is up to you. You chant mantras, you perform agnihotras, you perform homa, or you just simply meditate. Any way you can do it. And when Sun and Rahu are there together, it is also called as a Pitru dosha. Okay, because Rahu is ancestor and Surya is a sattvic energy. Sun is a sattvic energy. Rahu is not a sattvic energy. We have to make the energy of Rahu sattvic by performing sattvic activities.
Yes.
It is the way like it is a wet, it is a wet mold. You can just design it whatever you want on that mold. It's a wet mud. Okay, you can emboss your what you say, whatever design you want to emboss, you can emboss. So this is the combination of Sun and Rahu. Sun is soul. So this is the time when one has to dedicate the whole energy into a positive way to get the positive fruits of this Sun and Rahu combinations.
Yeah.
Second thing, when Saturn is aspecting this Sun and Rahu together, so that time your karmic cycle is getting motion. Saturn itself is a very slow moving planet. But when that solar energy is entering into the system, that time the cycle becomes in a force automatically. And that time Ketu also becomes activated. What is Ketu? Ketu is a tapa. Ketu is tap. Ketu is sadhana. That is why we say that Ketu is detachment from anything. Ketu derives us from the material life towards a lonely life. It is not like that activated Ketu always gives the spirituality to the person. Person can become lonely within self also. So this combination is finding the self, finding the motto of the life, why I am born on this earth. Then see the connection of the Sun and Rahu with your ascendant Lord in the chart. The Sun and Rahu can be anywhere in the chart. If it is specifically in your 10th house of the chart, your pending karmas connected to your employer, connected to your father, connected to your mother has to be fulfilled. You have to understand it that this period I have to be calm and peaceful at my workplace, because Sun and Rahu may give punishment also and may give you rise in your profession also. It will give you increment also, it will give you promotion also, and it will give you demotion also. That totally depends on your karmic cycle. If it is in your 7th house, as you said, the honey will not go away, but honey will realize the true self. Or if it is a male or if it is a female, the energy mixes with each other. It is like Shiva and Shakti. So 7th house, Sun and Rahu, it is the best time to do Upasana together, male and female. This combination is happening in the 7th house of the chart. Because if you see, the Mercury has just entered into the Cancer sign. Immediately next to Sun and Rahu, there is a Mercury, which is absorbing the quality of this Sun and Rahu, and this Mercury is becoming mature, because Mercury is going to be retrograde very soon, again in the Gemini. So this Mercury is grasping everything from this Sun and Rahu in Gemini. So be prepared, because the long time, next 6 months, even though Sun and Rahu are getting separated, but still next 6 months you will see the effect of this combination, and this is one of its own kind. As it is a Pitru dosh also, as I said before, because Sun and Rahu, because as I said, it is an ancestor, it is a forefather, and Sun is the solar energy, soul. So whatever pending desires from your Pitrus are carried forward. That is why they died before fulfilling certain things or enjoying certain things. It is not necessary always they left bad karmas. But with certain karmas which they wanted to continue in their life and they died before that. So the combination of Sun Rahu comes in the chart. The people, the natives who are already born with the Sun Rahu combination, they always have to worship or take the blessings of their forefathers before starting any work. They must do it. And now, as this is universal Surya and Rahu for all, so we all have to remember our forefathers and departed souls in a good way, in a way what you can, you have to be surrendered, that's it. So this will make the Pitru dosha pacify. In here, as per the Shastra, we perform many other rituals also to pacify the Pitru dosha. But the simple thing is remembrance of the ancestors, remembrance of the departed souls, just surrendering to them.
Yeah, that resonates very quickly. It actually reminds me of some of the ancestral karma which I carry in my own life. My grandfather was born a very poor immigrant from Russia, and he lived in an apartment studio with him and his 7 siblings.
Oh,
and they all sleep in the same bed. That's how poor they were.
really?
And then he become waiter as teenager. He work his way to pay through medical school, and then he become the surgeon. And then he developed wealth as surgeon.
Very good. See, that was also his pending karma.
And then my father, he has 7 planets in the 2nd house, and whole goal of his life is wealth and family.
Family
and providing for his family. And I see myself too, that even though my whole life is spiritual, that because my ancestors were so poor, that I have to be able to maintain material security no matter what.
Yes. Wherever your moon is in the chart, that house related karmas you have to perform in this birth. Same way, wherever there is a sun in your chart, that house related karmas you have to perform, because sun and moon are king and queen.
Yeah, and sun is in my 10th bhava.
So you have to, already you are into Jyotish Shastra. So whatever your forefather kept behind, as you said, he was into healing also later.
My grandfather's brother was an astrologer.
See, already you are running the same thing. Now you are already fulfilling the pending desires, because whatever you have Rahu in your ascendant, you said.
Yes.
Right? So whoever has Rahu in the ascendant, they are rebirth of their forefathers.
Yeah.
And they have the same features and characteristics of their forefather.
Yeah.
People say you resemble to your Dadaji. In here, India we call it as a Dadaji. That is grandpa.
Yeah.
So Rahu is a very mystical planet, as well as Rahu has so much hidden energy. If you activate the Rahu in a proper way, your 3rd eye
will blossom.
Yeah, gets open. Getting
like
the 3rd eye opening doesn't mean that you become the magician or miracles are going to happen. The opening of third eye or Agya Chakra means that your 6th sense is getting activated and you can read the past karma of the person.
But one thing that is 100% true, but we cannot see our own future karma.
We can see, but
our personal, our own.
Yeah, we can see, but here you must have the capacity to tolerate it. Because that energy generates so so fiercely that you must know how to manage it. First thing. And second thing, as we are talking about Sun and Rahu, so this is the time automatically your energy generation points in your body cells will get activated. So people who are into spirituality, or people who are into occult, who are into healings, and common people also.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
know.
There's a remedy I want to offer very similar to that for this transit of Sun Rahu, because this is like a window of opportunity, as Sunilee mentioned. It's a window of opportunity during this conjunction for you to get deeper in touch with your spiritual, mystical ability. That means once this window is passed, then it will be less strong. So that means, as Sunilee said, we have to fulfill our pending desires here. And that means that in end of June, early July, until the sun will enter the Cancer sign, if you have strong desire, then you cannot ignore that desire. That means if you want to travel to someplace, if you want to go someplace, if you want to be in relationship with someone, if you want to start a new job, if you want to have a better relationship with a family member, if you want to study something that you haven't studied before, but this is your window or opportunity or chance to get really deeply connected with that. And when the sun and the Rahu conjunction go away from each other, this will be less window of opportunity. Now, as Sunilee mentioned, Mercury retrograde will come back in Gemini, so there will be more, that will be positive in that sense. But the sun is the full potential of the soul's direction. So even though Mercury can help you better understand, let's say, any of the shastras, what you would study during this time, the sun is what allows your soul's potential to grow within that. So another one of the remedies that I have is a lot of the interest that we have, or these pending desires, or these things that we find important and value in, but society doesn't necessarily agree, or it says that those things are important, but we feel inside of our soul and our heart that they are. Well, many times in life we can put those on the back shelf, or we can put them away in the closet. Which means even though we have this interest, this mystic, this desire for our in-depth study and to realize our spiritual power, well, we have responsibilities of our family. We have responsibilities of our partner. We have responsibilities of our job that are always kind of acting as a distraction from this. And one thing that Sunilee mentioned was putting other people ahead of yourself. And that can commonly show up with the Ketu Rahu karmic paradigm, is what did we put in front of what we needed to do for ourselves? So now is the time, to some extent, to have a healthy amount of selfishness. Now, too much selfishness is narcissism, and that is not good. And there is also potential for that to happen. And I don't want that to happen. But all of those things which you have great interest in, that you have, let's say, been distracted by, during this transit, you have the strongest potential to learn from those things. You have the strongest potential to grow from those things. You have the strongest potential, because of the sun being there, to actually be recognized for those things. So instead of taking those things and leaving them in the closet, you go in that closet, you open the door, you push back everything that's on your desk, and you put it right here on the front of your desk. You put it right here on the front, and you start to prioritize it, and you start to emphasize it. So let's say you have little bit of interest in astrology. Let's say you have little bit of interest in Ayurveda. You have little bit of interest in yoga or Vastu. Well, now is not the time to be distracted from your focus on those things. You have to take them out of the closet, take your yoga mat out of the closet, take Brihat Parashara or a Shastra out of the closet, take Charak, Shashrut, and Bhagbat out of the closet, and you study those ancient scriptures, and you study those ancient texts, because really there's no greater opportunity for us to truly understand the wisdom of the rishis than during this Sun Rahu conjunction. It's very positive for that sense.
Yeah, because Rahu is in Punarvasu Nakshatra, it's in Jupiter Nakshatra. Exactly. So, and this Surya, from tomorrow, it is going to enter into Adra Nakshatra. So, the Rahu energy is getting more activated, but mind well that Punarvasu energy, the Jupiter energy. Punarvasu means doing again and again. Puna, that is again, and Vasu means Vasan. That whatever you left behind, whatever mistakes were there in your life, now this is the time you have to settle at one place. So this is the best time when Adra and Punarvasu energy can merge together and be a positive lotus. It is not always bad. We have to always see the good part because we are human beings. We are
Yeah.
bound to make mistakes.
And Nakshatra Devata Purnarvasu is Indra Deva.
Yes,
So he is the supreme god.
of course.
So because Nakshatra Devata of Indra and Rahu Sun conjunction, we can find the divinity and supreme divinity within ourselves.
Yes.
But with hopefully without the ego.
Yeah, because Rahu is also Ahankar.
Exactly.
Rahu is Ahankar and actually Surya is a pride. Surya is a self-respect. Surya is not Ahankar. Sun is a self-respect. Sun is the ambitions. But Rahu, we have to channelize the Rahu here.
Always channel Rahu.
Yes, we have to channelize. I have made one specific video on Surya Rahu Pitru Dosh with remedies. So viewers can definitely visit the channel Planet to Soul Astrology, and they can always see whoever believes in the other remedies also.
Good.
So they must watch the video I made it 6-7 months back. So they can find many remedies there. But this Rahu and Surya for us also, who are into practice of Jyotish Shastra or who are into research of Jyotish Shastra. So this time you just try to read the past life or read the past karma. Definitely you will be successful if you are surrendering to all the planets in the chart. And if you make the planets your friend, definitely planets will talk to you. That is what I always believe.
I agree.
This was a very good. See, this is Surya Rahu. All our forefathers came to bless us. You know.
I feel that. I feel them with us.
Definitely. So this was very good discussion. So anything else you want to talk about this Surya Rahu? We will definitely talk about Shukra and Rahu also, Venus Rahu.
Yeah, we'll do that next. And all I want to say about this Sun and Rahu conjunction that Sunilee just beautifully mentioned is the Sun is this potential, but Rahu can be the Ahankar. So if you do have a desire during this period and your soul is telling you that you must experience this desire, this is not the time to fight it. This is the time to embrace that desire. And see, one thing I mentioned is it's called the soul's bucket list. It's not called the logical bucket list. It's not called the emotional bucket list. It's more like a spiritual bucket list. That means what is our soul's karma? Our brain doesn't always know it. What is our soul's karma? Our mind doesn't always know it. But the Sun coming into Rahu, the Sun will help you know your karma. So please, if you feel your karma through your soul, may we all fulfill that karma. And that's when we complete that karma, then the soul goes through a deep contentness.
Right.
It goes through a deep satisfaction. And what does that allow for us? Closer to moksha. Then after we satisfy our karma, we can start to let go of our body. We can start to let go of our attachment to the life. We can start to let go to all of our ambitions and motivations that we have on the material world. But we can only do that once we fulfill our desires. So this is a very strong period to, if you have this desire, no matter if you, and it's not coming from a logical or intellectual, it's coming from the soul. But again, we'll talk about when Mercury comes back into Gemini, it will be coming through the mind as well. But right now it's coming through the soul. So that means you have to feel connected to your soul. And that means you can't cut yourself off from the soul. And for us to feel like a soul, we have to have sadhana. We have to have spiritual practice. Otherwise, we feel like a body. So the greatest potential for this period is, as Sunilee so mentioned, to worship Lord Shiva. You can do this through Shiva mantra, Shiva puja, offering. I offer always incense and different offerings to my muerta of Shiva. And I always feel that when you take that energy and you bring it to the devotional place, that makes the best possibility for, as Sunilee mentioned, Rahu to be a channel. If you don't have a strong spiritual practice, then the ahankar get involved. So again, one of the greatest remedies for this period is so we can get to our full potential without too much ahankar, is to have the strong spiritual practice. That doesn't mean you have to sit in meditation and chanting for 6 hours per day. It just means every day you try to connect, meditate, connect with your soul, connect with your spirit, connect with your inner self, connect with the higher powers that you believe in. It doesn't take 6 hours. It could take 5, 10, 15 minutes. But all you have to do is try to connect with that higher power. Try to connect with that idea that we are a soul within a body and not just the body itself.
Yeah, one last thing I will tell all the viewers, a very simple remedy actually I learned from one of my friend. See, all our who are into palmistry, they must be knowing that the ring finger is the finger of sun. Okay, ring finger. So what you have to do as soon as you get up early in the morning, so this is the back portion, this is back portion of your brain. As soon as you get up in the morning, you have to count till 21 and you just have to put your Surya finger on the back portion where the Shikha comes. Shikha. Shikha means where the Jupiter resides. Where the Ketu resides, you just have to keep it your finger there and you just have to count 1 to 21. This will enhance the energy of Surya into you, and this is the simplest remedy. You just go on doing it. It gives fantastic result.
Amazing, amazing. And I look forward to discussing Rahu-Venus conjunction with you. And I also very much enjoy our discussion together today. As always, it's such an honor to learn and to share these very supportive discussions for our community. And I would like to make an announcement on our behalf, if that's okay. Sunilee and I are part of a summit on it's going to be on the August 18th. We are going to be in the Dasha Summit, and you can sign up on Facebook. There's the Zoom link. The event is free, and anyone who wants to join the event, feel free to join the event. It will be Sunilee and I, Dr. Dharmesh Mehta, Narasimha Rao, also known as PBR, and Sam Sadasifa Jeppy. So we have a very amazing astrologers from all over different places of the world. And we hope you will join us on the August 18th. I'm looking forward to our Dasha Summit. I hope you are as well, Sunilee ji.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it. And I hope you are doing the very great job, bringing all the, brilliancy together. So this is a very good karma. You are doing your karmic cycle in a good way. So it is very good. And I wish you all the very best. And as you know, Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
सबका मंगल हो. हर हर महादेव. नमस्ते.
Namaste.